Joining us in the 92.9 The Beat studios is Afroman. Welcome to Springfield.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I didn't expect that. I'll be honest with you. I enjoyed it, though.
All right.
You are recording a new album here in Springfield. People may know you best from some of your top hits, Because I Got High, Cult 45. What brought you to Springfield to work you through your latest creation?
I got this guy, Josh. He's been helping me out a whole lot, in the music industry and in the cannabis industry. And Kid Lennon is also from around this area. We did a remix to Because I Got High. So I'm finding a lot of financial and political support from the Springfield area. So that's what brought me here.
You say political support. Can you expand on what does that mean?
I was being kind of facetious, but just period. Like supporters of Afroman to the point where they want to see the brand more prosperous. Mm-hmm. So like no matter what they are, they're helping it, supporting it, and investing in it.
Okay. You obviously, are you in the cannabis industry? Stupid question on my behalf, but I'm guessing by that ring.
Yes,
and the song "Cause I Got High." Yes. Do you own like a cannabis growing farm or?
Yes, I'm in the process of I had one in Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. I had to renegotiate and do some stuff, so I'm in the process of getting some more.
Are you wanting to bring it here to Missouri, to Springfield area?
I'm like an athlete, whoever pays me, right? Yes,
I know that's right.
Yeah,
So Missouri's interesting because we just, in a sense, legalized it with, what was it, Prop 3, Measure 3 in November. Do you have thoughts on it as a supporter of cannabis? You have been for a while through your music, I could surmise. Do you have thoughts on it reaching, legal state in more and more states, in particular in what I'll call the Bible Belt? I didn't know if that was going to pass or not.
Yes. My home got raided in Ohio August 21st.
Of this year?
Yes. I wasn't home, but I looked at my home security cameras. Mm. These dudes came through my kitchen with like AR-15s, and it was because they heard, I was trafficking drugs or whatever. They found a vape pen, and then they kept it. And the vape pen wasn't mine. I had some pipes around the house that I smoked some weed out of. My fans gave them to me. They were really cool and sentimental. They took that. They didn't find nothing. They found like I had 4,000 and some change in a jacket pocket that I partied with Snoop and Wiz Khalifa, and I got so drunk and high I forgot it was in there, and I hung the suit back up. And it's been up there for years. I'm kind of glad they broke in my house and found that money in that suit pocket. But
just casually $4,000 laying around.
I'm glad I didn't even know that.
It's just a Tuesday.
Yeah, But I could have lost my life, because of the cannabis laws. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't want the wrong people operating in law enforcement to use cannabis as a tool to hurt or kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? Bad traffic stops, we smell weed or this, that, and the other. Now all of these guns got to come out and all of this. I want it to be legal everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems so extreme to pull guns for weed. I'm not in law enforcement, but it does seem strange. And I'm sure seeing that on your home surveillance I would have, in polite terms, crap my pants.
I have two houses next to each other. Mm-hmm. And, my kids live in one house, and I basically work in my other house. Mm-hmm. And, I keep all my smoking and my drinking over there away from my children. And they were watching the cops run around my house with AR-15s.
How old are your kids?
My youngest one is like 11.
Okay, so too young to be I'd have to imagine that's got to be so
I can't
scary.
imagine the cops running around the house after my dad with guns out. Like, you
And
know
did
what
they
I'm
give
saying?
you a reasoning or anything?
Yeah, they said drug trafficking, and then they said something. Then they had kidnapping on the warrant, and I don't know. I'm hearing more and more people that say judges are signing warrants that got kidnapping, and they didn't kidnap nobody. They're playing with these big words and these big charges, but once they write that down, you got to settle that later.
Yeah.
But here comes the foot to your door, and here comes the guns, and you got to figure out you wasn't the kidnapper later. You know what I mean?
What's the marijuana laws in Ohio like?
They are medical, but they're not recreational yet.
And so they just busted in there, even though it's...
They busted in my house, and they was sweeping around with guns. They was going through my clothes. They was tearing up my baseboards. And then the lead cop was so sarcastically unapologetic about everything. I'm like, you gonna help me put my door back up? You're like, we're not required to put your door back up. Blah blah blah. That's not what we do. You know, this, that, and the other. There's a lot of things. I know we need police. You don't want to tell a world that there's no punishment for your bad moves. You know, the police is a good scarecrow for society. But at the same time, there's a lot of power being abused in the law enforcement. And, that's why I'm going to run for president and try to...
Are you making your official announcement right now?
I guess so. I ain't supposed to do it till Saturday, but I don't know when this is going to air. Maybe if you don't air this until Saturday, whatever. But, I got to...
Do you have political aspirations?
I don't. I do now.
Yeah.
I have... I do now. I realize that you can't... There's always going to be bad people in the world. There's good people, there's good people in the world, there's bad people in the world. And you can't stop bad cops from joining the police department. You can't stop all crime. You can, however, prescribe a prescription. Like, there's always going to be the common cold. Mm-hmm. But we know, hey, when it comes around, okay, you need some penicillin, you need some antibiotics, you need some orange juice, you need some vitamin C, and that'll take care of that problem.
I feel like you also need The Price is Right, a can of 7-Up, and some crackers. That was prescribed to me in the 4th grade when I got a cold,
Okay.
I feel like you guys know, being from Southwest Missouri.
There's all kind of prescriptions, but there are prescriptions for common colds. Well, there ought to be a prescription for a bad person that joins law enforcement that abuses their authority. Like, okay, it's going to always... People want crime to just end, and they want racism to just end.
That sounds nice.
No, it's not going to just end.
Yeah, it's so rooted.
But when it pops up, there should be a prescription, just like for a common cold. Mm-hmm. And what I want to do is, I think I need to get in politics to help bring the prescription for these frequent problems.
I find it so interesting. I know some states, and I want to preface this by saying I don't have absolute knowledge. I need to do more research where, like, law enforcement find to be a bad actor, he'll get fired from one department or she'll get fired from one department. But that does not stop them from joining another department in another city or in another state or something like that. Right.
It's time to stop playing games, If you say this guy's a murderer, you put it on his record, and it goes with him. You know what I'm saying? So if a cop's a bad cop, it should go on his record, and he should not be given the opportunity to continue being a bad cop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then, I believe cops ought to snitch on each other. Mm-hmm. If you're a good cop and you see a bad cop doing some bad stuff, continue to be the good cop and say, hey, this guy is bad. And here's the evidence. They ought to have anonymous tip lines just like they have for civilians.
Yeah.
The cops ought to have.
Like a Crime Stoppers, but for.
A Crime Stopper. The Adams County Sheriff Department, they took.
Adams County. Is that here in Missouri? Forgive me.
No, ma'am. That's going to be in Ohio.
Okay.
They took my money. When they gave it back to me, it was $400 short. So inside of the police evidence room, one of their deputies took $400, and they were saying how they suspect it was stolen because an even amount came up missing.
And so what? I mean, what's the ramifications for them? For me, $400 is a lot of money. It's the principle of it too.
There you go. You beat me to it. I was about to do my Friday. It's the principalities of it. It's principalities in this. You're representing the law. Mm-hmm. You are the law. You are the good part of the law. So how do you break your own law? How you represent the law. So how do you break that? The crime scene is switched from my house to the sheriff's station. You know what I mean? So, as far as I'm concerned, they need to throw a raid on the sheriff's department, kick in the evidence door room, spin around with guns on each other, and figure out who's in the evidence room stealing money.
That's wild to me that just completely come up missing. And they had the right to take it. They returned it. You knew the exact amount. Are you going to proceed in a legal proceeding, or what do you do after something like that?
Right now, the state is investigating where the money went. Mm-hmm. And then once that's done, that's when we can proceed with our lawsuit. And
do you intend to do that over the principal, not the amount, but the principal of it all?
Yes. I don't appreciate them traumatizing my kids with those guns. You could have knocked on my door and told me you had a warrant for my house. Mm-hmm. I would have been like, okay, great.
You seem, this is my first time meeting you, but pretty relaxed.
Dude, I'm not going to get athletic with no trained cops. I'm 50 years old. I got one good punch, but man, they got bullets and tasers. I be watching them people. Nah, man.
I don't mean to laugh because it's serious.
Go ahead and laugh. I'm not taking on no cop. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you beat up. Let's say I tried to take on the cops. One cop come. I beat up one cop. Then his partner jumps out the car. Okay, I beat up him and his partner. Okay, backup units show up. Okay.
I'm getting tired here.
I beat up the backup units. Okay. Then the other precincts start showing up. I beat up all the precincts. Then the National Guard comes stomping out. Good gracious, man.
You're up like 30 cops.
Then the Army starts walking behind the National Guard, and the Marine Corps is walking behind it. All of these branches of the military are pyramided behind that one cop walking up to your car. Let me see your driver's license, blankety blank, blank, blank. Yeah. So the last thing I want to do is fight a cop.
I don't want to do that,
some
period.
Cops. Yeah,
I've seen their
don't
belts.
No, I don't want to do it. I'll catch him when he go to Subway. I'm like, hey, Doug. Yeah, but not on duty. No. I don't want to fight him then. So they could have... they didn't have to traumatize my kids running around the house and then they always use any mistake, if I would have been home holding my remote to my TV or walking around with my telephone, I thought that was a weapon, so I had to blow his head off. I feared for the life of me and my fellow. They got their little legal script that works. Mm-hmm. They got I felt the lives of my fellow officers were in jeopardy, and boom, boom, boom. Then they disconnected my video cameras.
Are they allowed to do that?
I could see they did that right when they went in, but it was like 3-4 hours later, they were still, instead of them searching the house, they were looking at my screen and they was looking around trying to figure out where the DVR was so they could disconnect it.
Yeah.
So it's like this. If you're a good cop, if I was a good cop, I would want the cameras to keep going to verify the fact that I am a good cop.
What's the opposition to being recorded?
Yeah. Right. So the only thing that'll make me not want to be recorded is if I'm a bad cop and I got a bad agenda and I want to do some bad things. Well, now I don't want you to see me. So I want to. So they disconnected my camera after being in my house for about 3-4 hours. And ain't no telling what else they stole, after the cameras was disconnected.
Did you find other things missing?
I got a lot of stuff, so
that's how I am. Like
you can steal from me, and I don't know it's gone.
It's not that I have a ton of stuff. It's that sometimes I'm like, I myself have not seen that in 3 years. You found it, finders keepers. I know it was in my place, and it's technically mine, but I wouldn't know to it.
Well, here's this. $400 came up missing from the police department.
Yeah.
So what came up missing from my house?
Yeah.
Just that question right there, need to make them sign that $100 million check to me. Like, enjoy whatever you took, keep it, and I'll take $100 million.
The interest is good.
for you cutting off my camera so I couldn't verify that you didn't take nothing.
Are you following the Brittany Griner story at all?
As much as I can, yes.
Obviously, there's like political elements to it, but as a supporter of the cannabis industry, when you see Brittany Griner coming back to America for, I don't know, she had like a gram or something, such like a small amount, and knowing there are people in America locked up for, lesser counts, what do you think about that when it comes to marijuana? Because there are people who locked up for it.
Look, she got locked up for a gram?
Yeah, it was like a little bit of hash oil in like a pin, and then she's in Russia playing basketball.
Right.
Because, we pay women's sports not a ton here. Right. And so I think it was like, she's a political prisoner type thing. They made a trade. But when she comes back to America, we have a lot of people in prison for marijuana that's slowly becoming legal across the country.
Right. Vladimir Putin is at war, and he's not stupid.
Yeah.
If I'm in a fight, I see you handing that guy the brick to smash me in the head with.
Yeah.
Now, how long can I sit here and ignore the fact that you're handing that guy the brick? You're like, hey, yeah, cut him with this. I hate somebody that assists somebody to do me over. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So Vladimir Putin, she comes over there, and, she became a bargaining chip. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, people over there handing, hey, guy that just gave him those little drones, is this your little basketball player right here?
Yeah.
He says, okay, you give me back the doctor of death, and I'll give you back
Brittany
this
Griner
chick.
Yeah. I will say, I played basketball through school from Plato, Missouri. So there's like 6 people in the whole school. Everybody has to play all the sports. But I remember her slam dunking at Baylor and that being a huge, like, oh my gosh, a woman is slam dunking. It was like such an inspirational thing for me as a basketball player. And then this obviously comes up and it stirs up so much more than just the marijuana debate, I think. And now she's back. So it's fascinating. I want to transition though, because you obviously just in the 17 minutes I've been talking to you, you're a funny guy.
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. How does that go into your shows? When people go to see Afroman at their show, what do they see? The tough questions today.
A drunk guy that doesn't know what he's doing, but it all works out. No, I'm just playing. I sing the songs I wrote. I kind of want to do comedy like Eddie Murphy wants to sing, right?
Does Eddie Murphy sing?
Yes, he has a hit song with Rick James called "Party All the Time." You gotta check that. Okay. My girl wants to party all the time, party all the time.
Okay,
party
now that
all
you
the
sing
time.
it, I do. Okay,
and he sings in every movie because he wants to.
Right.
He wants to be a singer, but he gets a bigger paycheck as an actor. Mm-hmm. So what he does to pacify himself is sing all through the movie.
Yeah, entertaining himself.
Yeah,
so your comedy is a form of your own entertainment while you're entertaining people.
I was thinking about it. I know there's a lot of funny songs and this, that, and the other, but there may not really. I know Adam Sandler makes funny songs, but
I love Adam Sandler.
I don't think there's a. I know the Two Live Crew used to be funny, but I might be like the first goofy rap. Like get out of here, just funny, you know. Like, I remember listening to good rappers, and they'd be serious. Rakim is a good rapper. I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done. Make sure it's broke. But, they used to be serious, you know. And then the serious good rapper was, we respected that and we bought those tapes, but we had more fun with the Two Live Crew. Mm. So even though the Two Live Crew couldn't rap as good as the serious mad guy, we was just having more fun, and I remembered that. So what I wanted to be was a good rapper, but that had fun.
Yeah.
You know, so
Not a fun guy who raps, but a rapper who is fun type thing. It's like this is your big thing.
Yeah, a fun guy who raps. I got the skills.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have fun with the skills. Like an athlete, right? He can run fast, so he runs fast down the field. Well, there's Deion Sanders. He can run fast, but he's gonna run down the field like a Las Vegas
He's
showgirl.
fun to watch.
Yeah. He's funny with his fast.
Yeah.
He uses his athleticism to make you laugh, or a Muhammad Ali, shuffling his feet,
I feel like
winding
those
up
shows
his,
are like it's like some shows like so serious.
Right.
But when you see a talented person, performer, and they're also this like a duality, like I think it's even more fun. I think it's great.
I think it's good when you can display your talent and still be down to earth.
Speaking of skills, you and I were talking before the interview started about all the instruments that you play, and you don't read music. So you said you played the guitar, the bass, drums, bit on the keyboard. On top of that, you're a writer. You do your own, you rap everything. Where did this all come from for you? Where did the love for music, where did the ability to pick all that up without reading music come from?
My mom. My mom has like all kind of music degrees, and my grandfather was a pastor in a church in Mobile, Alabama, and she was his daughter, and he trained her. He sent her to schools, and she played the organ for the church, and she carried the church musically. And then when she had me, I'd be running around the church grabbing girls' butts, and then the teenage girl that tapped me on the shoulder and point toward the organ. My mom tell me come up there. I had to stand at the end of the organ, and I get slapped on the one. We will understand it better by and by. So what I started doing was I started playing instruments in church to stay out of trouble. It was something to do while I was in church. At first, I wanted to play the drums, but all the little boys in church wanted to play the drums. But I noticed how the more you picked the individual instrument, it was less competition. So after I learned how to play the drums, I started wanting to play the guitar. I couldn't afford a saxophone, so the next coolest instrument was guitar.
I wanted to play the saxophone in the 5th grade for 5th grade band, and my mom got me a clarinet, the cheaper instrument. I can play nothing on it, absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So the clarinet, the saxophone is I think that's the coolest instrument ever, and then the vice president is the guitar. So
yeah. So. A saxophone's like a sexy instrument. You know what I mean? Like it's.
You make me want to go buy one now and just try.
We got some music places in town. I bought a guitar, or I bought my keyboard from. I can't remember. By Haruno, which is a good sushi place in town.
All right.
Fremont and Battlefield almost. So you want a saxophone, I can get you the hookup. By hookup, I mean I can tell you where to go. I can't give you discounts or anything like that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Very cool. Well, you are going to be putting out a new album. When will that be out for people to download, and where can they download?
Let me ask my executive producer here.
The EP.
Okay. Probably February.
Yeah. Are you recording it? Is it your studio?
No, it's a producer in town.
Okay, I thought it was a producer here in Springfield who's worked with artists across the country. I think is
Kevin Gates.
Kevin Gates, yeah.
Kevin Gates, the white Kevin Gates.
The white.
Jokes. I tease him about that because his name is really Kevin Gates.
Yeah.
And then the rapper, his name is Kevin Gates, but that ain't really his name.
Yeah.
And then it's like funny,
Yeah, that works. Okay, well, I appreciate you being here in the studio today. February, people can download the new album. What do you anticipate the response to be, or do you have any anticipation for a response on it?
I always anticipate a response, good or bad. But yeah, right now I don't know what to call it, because when I do an album, I come up with a theme, I come up with all the songs I want, But right now I'm doing something different. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with some different people. They're giving me instrumentals. I don't even know what the songs are going to be about. So
I wanted to go talk about what goes into your writing. I know I kind of gave the clue that we were rapping, but I do want to ask about what goes into your creative process in writing a song. I always find that so fascinating from artists.
There's several ways you can write. Like, if I know what I want to talk about, I write the song with no music. I wrote Palmdale with no music. It was my life. Just like bums who used to stay in the slums of LA. I was basically just telling you the truth about my life.
Yeah.
You know, but so I didn't have to think about that. And after I got done, I read my lyrics, and the song Spring Love came to my mind. So instead of saying Spring Love, come back to, I was like, Palmdale, come back to me, because that's the songs that was playing back when I was in high school, and it kind of reminded me of the whole thing. So when I know what I want to talk about, I write with no music. But then when you play an instrumental and you don't have a clue what to write about, that's the new thing I do. I rub the hip hop crystal ball, and the music tells you what to say. You ever play the instrumental and kind of make you feel like, you know, this is like sunset at a beach, or you might play another one. It makes you want to reflect on your love life, and you know what I'm saying. Or you play another one, it make you want to dance and be at the club and party. In my opinion, you play a track, the track tells you what it wants you to sing about. So I'm doing that process with this album, because, you know, I'm not making these instrumentals. Kevin Gates is, and whoever the other producers are. So I'm coming into the studio, and I'm listening to it, you know, I'm liking it, and then I go to writing.
That inspires your lyrics.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you being in the studio. The new album, still untitled in the name, is what it sounds like, will be out in February. Is there an exact date in February, or is it just keep your eyes peeled type deal? You know, EP is shaking his head off camera now.
We all medicate, so just keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes out.
We got high.
All right, Afroman, I appreciate you being here today.
Yes, ma'am.